Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Mania TrueNut, and welcome to a quick little guide I wanted to put together. This is a very quick one. Don't worry, this isn't your main Fallout 4 video for the day, this is just kind of like a little extra I wanted to put together. Because I've got like a lot of questions in the comments, people like saying, you know, why doesn't the compass work? Why aren't things showing up on the compass? Why is it different? So I just wanted to kind of quickly just kind of go into how the new kind of tracking system works. Because like ticks on the compass for enemies isn't really so much of a thing anymore. So you can see right ahead of me there, I've got, you know, dogs, super mutants. They're blatantly close enough that back in the days of Fallout 3, this really would have shown up on my compass as red. But it doesn't in the slightest. No enemy will ever show up on your compass unless you're actually in caution. Let's just get myself in caution. There we are. I'm now in caution, and all of a sudden the little red spots have actually shown up on the compass. So now I can see them, and my perception skill dictates how far away I'm allowed to be while they still show up. So for the moment they're showing up on the compass, and the brackets at the top are now indicating how close to hidden you are again. Because the caution there, the kind of the little brackets around it, were very far apart and moving away. When they reach the outside, that's hidden. When you're moving around in hidden, you can see how close you are to potentially going into caution or detected by virtue of how close the brackets are to hidden there. The question then is, how do you make enemies stick around without having to go into caution first? And the answer is the Recon Scope. Now let's just take a quick look at how to build that. The requirements for it are generally Gun Nut 2, Science 1, but the materials that you need to build it do vary quite a bit. So building it on top of a pistol is relatively easy because you only need 2 sets of fibre optics, which is quite low. But you're also going to need crystal, which are probably more rare. Adhesive, aluminium and circuitry should all be pretty easy to come by. Fibre optics not so much, but there's a kind of a few good places, like, you know, Rob Volts for microscopes, the Science Centre in Diamond City for microscopes, laser-based floor traps when you disable those also produce fibre optics too. So it's not too difficult to get hold of them. Longer rifles can have them too, but for longer rifles you're going to need Gun Nut 3. So arguably you're probably going to want to get hold of one on a pistol with Gun Nut 2 as early as possible. Long recon scopes on sniper rifles particularly are quite intensive because then you've got the problem of needing fibre optics times 5, which is quite a lot. Really, you'd probably be wanting Scrapper rank 2 before you even thought about that. Now that means that the earliest in the game you're going to be able to get a Recon Scope is probably, well, unless you get really lucky and find it on a weapon that you stumble across by chance, level 13. Because at level 13 you can have taken Gun Nut 2 and Science 1. And at that point, yeah, you can build a Recon Scope. And basically every time I play Fallout 4 from now on, that's probably what I'm going to do, if I can at all. Because yeah, having that Recon Scope as early as possible, very, very valuable. Now this time, let's try that again. But this time, I've got a Recon Scope with me. So just aim forward. We can see that Super Mutant who's ahead of me. So we've got him tagged over. Just mouse over his little guy here as well. Lovely. There we are. There's another one who's over there. And I'm pretty sure there was one up at the top if we just kind of go over him as well. Lovely. So all of them, as we've kind of put the cursor over them, have now picked up little red diamonds. And now you'll notice they are now showing up on my compass. And indeed, even while I'm hidden, they'll show up, and I can actually go quite a long way away from them, and they'll kind of continue showing up, even if I'm still in the hidden, even if they're miles away. I haven't tested the exact distance you're allowed to go, but you're allowed to go a pretty damn long way. So now more kind of like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed or something like that, the enemies will now actually show up, and you can know exactly where they are, even if they've wandered way off in a different direction, so you can know whether or not you're likely to be safe or not. So on that basis, I know those guys have moved way over there. I always know where this guy is, even if it's dark. And I can take that guy out. And then immediately I can know the enemies straight away. Where are they? Are they hunting me? Are they likely to find me? And yeah, just you can much more easily tell this way where they all are. There we are, and we're straight back to hidden as well. And now I know, even though I'm hidden, that they do appear to be pretty darn close to where I am. So I might want to kind of loop around this side street in order to kind of back off a bit, just in case they come this way. And now I know they're going that way again, because I've got kind of clear visibility of where they are. The Recon Scope is incredibly useful. And I think like once you've got a Recon Scope built, perception almost doesn't really seem to matter anymore. This character you're seeing at the moment, I think currently has perception like 4 or something, but you can still gain visibility of the enemies and just keep an eye on them from so far away that like it doesn't seem to make the slightest bit of difference where they are. It's also worth noting that if you shoot an enemy in VATS with a gun with a Recon Scope, it's automatically tagged, so that can be very useful as well. So So just combine these two things together now, using the brackets around hidden to know kind of how close I am to being detected. So I know right now I'm not at immediate risk of kind of going into caution or being spotted at all, because the brackets aren't that close to the word hidden. Combine that with kind of all the diamonds as well, and you can have a much easier time sniping off enemies without them knowing what's going on. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. While the compass may immediately seem to have had a little bit of a downgrade, actually it's more like just the starting compass is worse than it used to be, which kind of makes sense, because in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas it was a little bit odd how, you know, even a character with relatively low perception could just see enemies all around them all the time at quite a high distance. It was, yeah, it was quite powerful. Instead now, you start off Fallout 4 with a slightly worse compass that can only see enemies when they're actively hunting you, which makes, you know, I guess make kind of a bit of sense. But if you invest in gun nut and science, as early as level 13 you can start tagging enemies, and then it's extremely easy to keep track of them no matter where they are, and it makes life a lot easier. It makes battlefield awareness a whole lot easier. And then at level 25 you can take some extremely long range recon scopes on sniper rifles, but just keep an eye on those fiber optics. That's the part that you're going to need that you might be a little bit short of. But there you are, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that's a little bit helpful to some people who seem to be kind of like struggling a little bit with the new style compass. And if I see anything else that comes up in the comments a lot, I might make just a little how-to guide about those as well. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I've been John. It's been many a true nerd, and this has just been my little look at the new style compass and the Recon Scope. Thank you very much, and goodbye.